already have water.
Yeah. We have water prepared for you.
Well, darn. Thank
I'm glad you guys showed up prepared.
What
I
the
appreciate that.
Up with bags and gifts and everything.
Oh, look at you guys.
We like to start with a little game so everyone gets to know you. Is that okay if we play a little game?
That's perfectly fine.
Right.
Well, am I speaking for everyone? Is it okay?
Sure.
Games are fine.
All right, so what we like to do is if you go on IMDb, it'll list the 4 things you're most known for. And most of it doesn't make sense. So whenever I get this opportunity, I like to ask, what do you think the 4 things you're most known for are?
We've been playing this game for well over a decade, and we've never figured out the rhyme or reason.
Yeah, no one's ever gotten this correct. So I have 4 things that you're the most known for, Mark. What do you think they are?
Demon Slayer, Kyojuro Rengoku, Home Adventures with Tippino, which, if we got a yeah out there, that would be awesome, but we don't. Genshin Impact, Kaedehara Kazuha, and Fire Emblem Three Houses, Seteth.
That was a perfect score!
However, I want to tell you why it's a perfect score.
Do you Google
It's
yourself
because
a lot?
I'm the one who puts it up there. I'm the one who makes sure I know what I'm known for. There's a thing called IMDb Pro, and it's so that you can manage your IMDb.
Is that too new?
We contribute and whatnot. I don't know if y'all have it as well, IMDb Pro.
Yeah. But I don't know. I can't remember when the last time was that I updated my most known.
Yeah.
But I do remember I had weird things on there before I got IMDb Pro.
Okay, well, I was perfect, so you have to be perfect too.
This explains a lot.
That's a hard act to follow. Go for it.
Garrett, do you know what your 4 are?
I would say Nier Automata, of course. I played 2B. Demon Slayer, Mitsuri Kanroji. Genshin Impact, Kuki Shinobu. And of course, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Jolene Cujo.
Casey, a lot of pressure now because we got 2 perfect runs.
Yep.
Wish me luck, everyone. All right, let's take a shot in the dark. Obviously, one of them is gonna be Shinji from Eva. Evangelion, it's gotta be one.
Yep, you got that one.
Nahabino, Shin Megami Tensei V.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nahabino from Shin Megami Tensei V.
No.
Can't we just tell them they're
Angel from Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
Angel Devil. And if it's not Shin Megami Tensei V, is possibly Scorbunny line from Pokemon?
It's Evangelion and Pokemon Journeys the series.
I said those.
Oh, I misheard you.
Oh, you did?
You're all the way on the other end.
So I was kind of right.
Yeah, I'm just bad at listening.
It's okay. Me too. What?
Did we all get them all perfect?
You got them all right.
This has never
happened. It's always been people been like, why do people know me for that? But that's you've ruined the game, but we're still going to have a good panel.
No, you know, we all learned something because now I know about IMDb Pro, and now I have so many questions.
Now I know how it works.
Wait, no one else? I also feel kind of weird now that I'm like, does no one else use IMDb Pro who you interviewed?
Apparently not.
Is that just a thing that like the scrappers initially use? Like, I don't know.
We've been playing this so long, IMDb Pro might not have been a thing.
That's
we've
true,
been playing
that's
this
true.
for years.
I think it could be, yeah, it's possible it was generational with, I don't know, for like, there's some folks out there that have like 800 credits, and that was definitely probably pre-needing to IMDb Pro.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
They just, again, they just updated it and they were like, yeah, I haven't done that in years because I am prolific. It's like, that's also legit. So
once again, if you guys have any questions for our fantastic voice actors, use the microphone right here. You guys can make an orderly line. Don't make me have to police it. Don't be shy. You can also use the hashtag TMG Fire Emblem, which none of them are known for. And you can use that.
So comfy.
Most hated Pokemon.
Most hated Pokemon.
Most
We're
hated
starting out
Pokemon.
strong.
We're going to throw a grenade in the panel immediately.
I'm not going to answer this first.
Let's start controversial.
I'm touching this one.
I don't hate any of them. I think Glalie is kind of creepy, not gonna lie, but I think any Pokemon out there is gonna be somebody's favorite. My favorite is Gyarados, but
What's the, I forgot the name. What's the mime?
Mr. Mime?
Mr. Mime.
That one freaks me out. That's all, I'm not here.
Don't hate me. I'm not as Pokemon literate as I ought to be for being where I am. I grew up with a lot of other games, but not Pokemon for some reason. I like Charizard though, and I saw. I remember seeing some videos of Charizard wrestling Magmar, and I was like, I don't like that guy, so Magmar can eat it. Thank you for your question.
Yes, thank you for your question.
Not me.
Yes. Next question, please.
My question is for Kira.
Get a little bit closer to the microphone.
And remember, project like the microphone's not there.
True. My question is for Kira. I just recently found out that you voiced Hiyoko Sayonji in Danganronpa. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite part about playing Hiyoko?
I just like playing Mean Girls. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, but you're not a mean girl IRL, but I really like playing them. And I liked all the creative insults she came up with.
That is true.
Nice.
Can I do a follow-up question or no?
Yeah.
Okay, follow-up question. If Hiyoko was a blackened, who do you think her victim would have been?
I don't know. I have to think about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't think of a good answer off the top of my head.
Wait,
That's
what is? Do you have an answer to it as well?
I was gonna say Mikan because she picked on her the most throughout the game, so.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Fair enough. Thank you so much.
Everyone
Thank
here
you.
is starting fights. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, we're coming out
Hands
swinging right now.
yeah.
Glad these things have head bumpers on them so that if we
You're blown back. Yeah.
flown back.
All right, so this question's for Casey.
I see a bunny!
Yep, you know who that is. Best Pokemon ever. Anyway, did you get the roles for Scorbunny and Raboot at the same time? And how did you have to adjust between those two evolutions?
No, in fact, I didn't even know I booked Scorbunny until I was doing Krissa first. And then they queued up a thing on the screen, and it was up there for a bit. And I was like, what is happening? Did I actually book Scorbunny? Like, okay, so in this scene, by the way, you're Scorbunny. So in this scene, I'm like, oh,
They just told you when you got there?
bam, slam, right in the back. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh God, I hope I remember what I did in the audition. So then I did the Scorbunny, and we did the thing. And no, I did not know I was gonna voice Raboot or Cinderace. I had no idea because we hadn't gotten that far yet. And so when we did it, I just saw the Japanese, and they're like, is this something you want to do? You want to continue? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we just did that, and it was, in my vocal range. You got Scorbunny, just, and then you've got Raboot. So it's something that's like, yeah, I could switch it, and it's not too stressful in the voice. Cinderace was the one that was just like, I can't even do it because it's screaming just Cinderace all the time. But it's a lot of fun doing it, and I didn't even know I was doing them. So when they were just like, here's another. Also, there's a Raichu. You want to voice that one? Yeah, okay, sure. So I also did Raichu.
I remember you had to do some of that from home, and I just hear from like our booth in our house, Cinderace.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I love every minute of every second those rabbits are on screen.
Yay!
I'm 35 years old, so for a new Pokemon at that time to dethrone one that I've loved, to dethrone a Banerian Lopunny that I'd loved for years was surreal and amazing.
That's awesome. I loved it.
And just a quick follow-up. Which one did you like voicing the best of the three of them?
Scorbunny. Woo! Absolutely. It's always so cute and happy and joyous, and it made me happy. Yay! Which is hard to do these days.
And you enjoyed watching them on screen, right? You rewatched some episodes?
I actually only got to watch the finished product recently because I saw a DVD in the store, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy this thing. So I did. And I sat down and watched it, and I'm like, wow, this came out pretty good. Because when we're doing it, nothing is done yet. Everything is like beeps and M&E tracks and scratch, whatever. And seeing the full thing is just really cool. It's like, wow, this came out good. So this is why people like it. Okay, cool.
Do you guys read the entire scripts, or do you just read the parts you guys are in?
We read the parts we're in, although we have access to the scripts of the episodes that we do. However, my lines are usually just Scorbunny.
But do you get like a mood?
I got the
like,
Scorbunny DVD. I'll have you sign it tomorrow.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. So actually, when we do Pokemon, it doesn't just say your name here, say your name here. We preview the Japanese bit or scene or cue, whatever, it could be a whole scene. There could be like 5 in a row or something. We'll preview it, and it'll have like a guide. So it's kind of like we record it using, it's like live to picture, and it's kind of like, we use it in a rhythm band. It's kind of like karaoke or Guitar Hero voice acting, because you see the script kind of just scroll with the screen to the picture. So you see your cue come up, and then you do it. And instead of actual dialogue, for something like the Pokemon that we voice, it'll say happy, discouraged, upset,
Angry.
yeah, just like
Get
all
rabbit.
different types of moods, and sometimes various combinations of all of them, and then you have to kind of just do them as you go and hope it comes out right, and usually it does. But that's the way we do it, yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, it's a fantastic role, and thank you for voicing my favorite Pokemon.
Ah, thank you so much.
Round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So this will be for anybody that wants to chime in. So
Hit the buzzer.
what got you into voice acting, and what kind of like processes or hurdles did you have to go through in order to get the roles that you were given?
Who wants to start?
I played a lot of video games and thought it was kind of cool, and I thought, I want to do that. I mean, that's really was, watched a lot of cartoons. We all watched cartoons growing up.
Yeah.
We all played video games growing
Definitely.
up for the most part. And I think for most of us, something probably clicked in our heads at that moment going, this is cool. How is this done? I kind of want to do it. That's what it was like for me, and like some other people I know. Might have been different for some other people. I don't know if it's, clicks for you or you.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
similarly, I was a theater kid growing up, so
Nice.
I always knew that I wanted to do performance in one way or another. But again, like, I loved animation, I loved video games. I knew that that was like a component of the industry I wanted to pursue. I just didn't know when it would come up, because for a while there I was like, I'm gonna be on Broadway, and then Broadway worked out not really that much, but then I was like, I'm gonna be in movies, and then that didn't work out too much, and I was like, I'm gonna quit and go teach English, and then they were like, no, you have this job to do, and I was like, I'm back into being an entertainer again. So it was a lot of ups and downs and perseverance, and some people, I've known people whose careers have taken off in one way or another in some part of the field in like a year or so, and they're very, very lucky. And I've known other people that they find it takes decades for them to find their footing, which I think is probably more common, or it takes a bit more of a journey. So I knew that voiceover was something I wanted to do. I started personally, I had my own equipment because I was making a web series. And so I was like, all right, well, time to get this voiceover thing going. So I'll just start working with it. And I made, my friends and I make a couple of podcasts. And so that was a way for me to create my own work. I was very much into creating my own stuff. I got to do my own performances. And in that, there's also like the hunt for an agency, which, to kind of piggyback on the rest of your question, how did we get the jobs that we got? It's like most of the time it's either through some sort of networking with people so that you build up your reputation, you have a portfolio of your performance work, and you've connected with people to the standpoint that they may invite you to be in their products. More often than not, though, it is auditioning, which is done through agencies or through seeking them out through open casting calls. And you audition for literally whatever you can get your hands on until someone says, that's the one that we need. And there is, I don't know if y'all do this, but I certainly do. There is a file on my computer that is full of thousands of things I did not book,
Yeah.
but I cannot let go of, and I want to know, like, I want to go back to listen to it.
Oh, I could never do that. That would,
That's the majority. That's the story that doesn't necessarily make it to our moments that we're talking, is like all of the tries that we didn't get.
Yeah.
But there's a laundry list for everybody.
oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, because everybody has that audition folder where they booked maybe a few percent of those things.
And that's good.
And that's good.
It's a few percent.
Yeah.
And that's
'Cause we get a lot of
completely
stuff,
normal.
and a lot of stuff comes and goes, and a lot of stuff might not be right for us, like vocally or whatever, but we still try because we want to, if it's close enough, you still want to send it out if you can. because they might cast you as other characters based on that
That's
audition.
true. And that's part of the
So-
building up your relationship, too. I've had,
Yeah.
I think I had a job, it was Elder Scrolls, actually, I went in on a while ago, and they were like, I never get this feedback at all, but the voice director, she was like, it's so glad to have you in. We've been listening to your auditions for like a year now, and we've wanted to get you in on this project. And I was like, thank you for telling me that, because we never hear anything. You never know whether they're hearing you. You never know whether it's just like 3 seconds and they're like, nah, not right, or whether they're hearing you and they're like, this person, let's clock them.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you send it out into the void. And
It's so weird when you hear that, because I just heard that like not even a week ago when I just started doing a new project. And when I got there and the guy at the place was like, been hearing your auditions for years. I'm so glad to finally work with you. I'm like, you have? Yeah. I'm like, really? It's just like, oh my God, thank you. But yeah, it's that feeling of you are listening and you wanted to, oh my God, because we don't know. Because you just never know. If you don't book something, you don't. You know how you know you didn't book something?
When it comes out.
When it comes out, you go, oh, yeah, I read for that, didn't I? That wasn't me.
And a lot of times when we hear what was cast, it's like, okay, I see why that person got the part. You know, it's like you can still do, and that's what I tell, because I mentor a lot of new actors, and I always tell them, like, don't think of it as rejection, because if 100 people read for the same role and only one person can get cast, that's not 99 people being rejected or 99 people being bad actors, especially if they're going through agents and they're, you know, it's all like professional actors reading. So it just means that, you know, for whatever reason, the client, the casting people, they thought someone else was better suited for that particular role. But, you know, like they said all the time, because I've done a bit of casting too, mostly for indie projects, but I've heard some people who always audition who are amazing, and for whatever reason, the clients just don't pick them as final select. But then it's like, oh, something else comes up where I have a chance to refer them for an audition or whatever. So people are listening when you submit, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for answering that question.
Thank you.
If I may ask one more follow-up question.
Do it.
As somebody who wants to get into voice acting or just acting in general, if there's one thing that makes me absolutely cringe, is that whenever I find myself like on a microphone or like in front of a camera or just like presenting myself to people in general, my voice just cracks or just gets absolutely dry. What do you recommend you do to help your voice actually get conditioned for something like that?
Always hydrate when you can. Hydrate or dihydrate. But also, as far as
Dihydrate?
hydrate or dihydrate.
I don't want to dihydrate.
But there's always good vocal like care, and if you're practicing and stuff like that, and screaming a lot, don't don't scream unless you have to. And even when you have to, there's correct ways to do it, and there's also like throat care, like what is that stuff called? Nimjam?
Ninjam. We don't know. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but it's N-I-N.
It's like a syrup kind
it's
of
some
thing.
honey loquat syrup. It's good.
Yeah.
Were you meaning like vocal fatigue and vocal stress?
All of the above.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was just one of those things where it's like, whenever the camera turns out, it's more of like almost like a nerves thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's a nerves thing, I would just say, just keep doing it and do more of it. And like, if you're afraid of something, specifically do that. Like, if you're like, this thing is really fearful for me, and you're in the process of growing and being in a journey, take whatever it is that scares you and do it. Like, force yourself to do it, because it will get you used to that sort of thing. You will grow through that. Like, there's a lot of growth to be had on the other side of doing something terrifying.
Yeah.
Practice on your own and not in front of people. Like, just record yourself on your computer or even on your phone or whatever, and just record, like, read a manga you like. You can play a game that doesn't have voices in it and just read out loud as the different characters and just act it out. And you can tell yourself when you record it, no one has to listen to it. You don't have to post it on YouTube. You don't have to put it online. Just do it so you can get used to it, because everyone hates hearing themselves at first, so it's just something, it's like a normal human response. So just like practice, just do it on your own, read out loud, and just get used to recording yourself and listening back. And we just get desensitized
just do
to
it. Do it on your own time, because if you get to do it just by yourself, you get to hear it, and it's like low stakes. It's not like you have to worry about someone else listening and then going, oh, and feeling like self-conscious, because I mean, I'm the same way. And it's, yeah, I think just exploring your own voice on your own time is probably a good step in the right direction.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time.
You bet. Thank you.
No problem.
Next.
All right, so I actually have like 2 questions. I'd like to start with Kira.
Okay.
Okay, so when I did find out that you voiced Nauka in the movie A Silent Voice, I was taken by surprise. But I do like to. My question is, what was it like just working with a deaf actor? Well, how did you deal with that?
Well, the thing is, when we record, like especially for anime and things like that, we come in one at a time. So none of us are recording with our castmates. We go in and we do our dialogue because we're having to match exactly to what the animation is. It wouldn't be practical. So actually, unfortunately, never met the actress who played Shoko. But I think it is really cool that they got a deaf actress for the role because representation is extremely important, and I think it's great whenever there's a chance for people to see themselves in media.
I mean, it's just kind of strange with the Japanese version that they didn't even have a deaf actor for Shoko. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't comment on any like overseas casting decisions or anything like that. But I'm glad that that was something that was an effort was made for.
All right, for Casey.
Yeah.
When it came to voicing the Nahubino in Shin Megami Tensei V, how did you deal with voicing the character despite him not having a lot of lines?
Well, when we did that character, it's another one I didn't even know I booked until I got in there. Like, by the way, you're the pro tag.
You're like, what?
Huh? Okay. So the process of that was they got me mic'd up, and as I'm trying to calm myself down, I'm like, oh, don't blow this, don't mess this up, because they just gave you this role. They let you preview the Japanese effort noises, and even though Nahabino doesn't speak very much, there's a lot of effort noises. There's a lot of combat noises, different move sets and stuff like that. So even though it's not typically much speaking stuff, there was around an hour's worth of recording just various grunts, efforts, and special like move names. So what we would do is just try to listen to the Japanese and not really just parrot it back kind of thing, but really just wanted to still capture like the feel behind the Japanese voice of it. So we'd listen to it and you'd hear like, I think the first thing we recorded was the jumping. And it was very grounded, very subtle. In Japanese, it was almost like a, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's subtle. So we did some of those, and we did like a few sets of those, and that's pretty much what we had to go on. So I just kind of went, and they were like, okay, it's good. And, because you're not going to go, huh! It's not going to work. It's hearing that over and over is going to drive everybody insane.
Yeah.
So I stayed in the same vein of what the Japanese did all the way through. And hopefully it didn't get too repetitive, or any weird, something like that. But that's the way we did it, and I think it came out pretty okay. A lot of people just today came up and said how much they loved it and how powerful they thought the character sounded. So even though the session was under an hour and it all happened so fast, I'm glad that it turned out pretty all right.
And I would say you did a good job despite not saying a lot of lines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
so much.
Appreciate it.
I'm just curious to know, for all of you really, what was the first role where you actually looked back on it and thought, yeah, I'm very proud of that?
Oh gosh. Huh. In voice acting specifically?
Well, for you specifically, you have more experience in other avenues, so sure.
Oh God, I don't. First roles that we're like really, really proud of. I don't know. I love like all the roles that I've done. There's always something I think that's cool to be found. Gosh, I'd have to dig really far back for like. I remember like doing a lot of Shakespeare plays with folks, and I think I was playing like Octavius in Julius Caesar once, and I really dug. It's like such a small part, but there are like so many good actors that I was learning from at that time. Fleant in the Scottish play, like things like that. Were really fun. One of my favorite musical theater moments, if anyone's a musical theater nerd out there, we're going to find out. All right, Floyd Collins. I got to do Floyd Collins, which is a musical about a guy who gets stuck in a cave and dies. And that's the musical. And I was that guy who got stuck in that cave and died. And it was one of the most rewarding experiences in my life as an actor. I was so proud of that production. Like, it's such an odd and obscure thing, but everyone like just focused 1,000,000% of their attention into it, and it turned out to be a really beautiful thing. So that would be, as far as performances, early performances for me. But I don't know. I can. I'll speak to. I mean, I really loved Home Adventures with Tip and O as well, as far as like voice acting. That felt like something where it felt like a dream come true, because I was working with like Tom Kenny, SpongeBob.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I was working with Nolan North. I was working with like crazy people I never thought I'd work with on this show that I was basically the lead of, and I was like, how am I in this position right now as a kid with like no credits? and it was, so that was pretty nuts to me too. And I got to like sing and everything. I got to kind of blend all the stuff that I did as a musical theater kid in together with it. So that was really special too. Yeah.
So in terms of roles that I was really proud of, I mean, it's hard because I think a lot of actors are like this. I tend to be very critical of my work. You know, of course, like I'm gonna do my best in any role that I'm given, but so often if I listen back on something, I'm like, oh, I could have done this better, could have done this better, because, you know, it's just like how things go when you look back after the fact, right? But in terms of really early stuff, I was in this JRPG that I've never really met anyone who's played it, called Mugen Souls, and I was the protagonist of that game. And something that was really cool about that was she had like 7 or 8 different personalities, and I believe most of them were played by different actresses in the Japanese version, but I played all of them in English, and I made them all sound like different and have like different personalities. So that was really cool, because that was like an early JRPG that I was cast in.
Yeah.
And then my first playable fighting game character was Honoka from Dead or Alive, and that was really special to me because I always wanted to be in a fighting game. So I was like, okay, like I play a lot of fighting games, so I knew what to do for it and stuff. And then of course there's Jolene, because that's like the most special role to me of everything. But yeah, I am still very critical, to be honest.
I hate all the things I worked on. I think I sound terrible and everything. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, every actor is hard on themselves. So, I mean, yeah. But early stuff that I can look back on. Man, I almost want to think mods for games that I would make in high school.
I was going to ask, can I ask what, because you made a Fallout mod,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What character in your Fallout mod was like particular, because you voiced a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, was there one in there that was like particularly a standout that you were like, I put my spin onto this, and that is like...
Well, there was, because when I created this mod for Fallout 4 back like 8 years ago or something like that, and it was kind of the reason I was able to move to LA and do voice acting in the first place. It's a really weird, long story. Maybe I'll say it sometime. But one of the characters that I created, programmed, and did all the dialogue stuff for was, I'm not much of a writer, so I would just take me and some of my friends that were like kind of beginner actors, and I would kind of create in-game versions of them. I would kind of model them to look kind of roughly like them. That would be in the Fallout universe. So I made one of them as myself, named Casey Kessler, which was the DJ of the station. So, yeah, that was the one that was kind of stand out, because
Nice.
I just put like any part of me that I felt like I would put into that world. That was my writing, I guess. But
Yeah.
but it was like parts of me would be translated into the game. And I don't know, people really like that, and I thought like, wow, people like this.
Passion's gonna show.
That's
I guess
awesome.
I guess it was passion will show through. That.
Love that.
It's crazy stuff. So yeah, I guess some of the earlier stuff or some of the mods that I would make, I could look back on and go, it didn't totally suck.
Wasteland DJ.
yeah, exactly. And as far as roles I'm most proud of, I'm probably most proud that I was able to get through doing Evangelion, because it was really hard to get through that. It's like 4 or 5 months of nonstop. It's kind of hell at times. So it was a lot of hard work and it was personally a very tough one to get through. I still haven't watched it. But the fact that I got through it and that people will tell me that they loved it and that like it helped them get through a hard time and they can feel kind of what I felt doing the show and they feel it too. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. So definitely got to be proud that I made it through that and you know, and it helps people get through stuff because they see it and it changes their perspective on stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And Kira, I do know Mugen Souls. I still have it actually.
Oh, cool! Wow.
So I just learned a thing.
Nice. All right.
Hello, hello.
Yay!
What's one role from either a show or a video game that you wish people were more aware of?
Wish people were more aware of. Roll from a show or video game that you did. Stumped upon stumped.
What is your underrated gem?
Underrated gem. What do you want to plug?
There's an anime we worked on called 86. Nobody watched it. We put our hearts and souls into that, and it does kind of suck that no one really watched that. And I got to work with the late Billy Kometz on it. That was one of the last things we worked on together, and he was phenomenal in it. And I don't know, I just really wish that somehow that could have aired on Toonami or something, because it would have fit in perfectly. I don't know, I thought that show was freaking awesome and was really well made, and I just wish more people saw it. 86, go check it out.
Kira?
Of course, I'm going to say a fighting game. I was in this really cool 2D anime-style fighting game called Phantom Breaker Omnia, and it was super fun, phenomenal cast, and I play like a pink-haired idol, so it's like perfect. I thought it was really fun. Like, I played the game and stuff, but I didn't see a lot of hype around it, which made me sad, because I was like, this is really cool, and I think more people should check this out.
Since we're here and it's like Metal Gear time, I did a random roll in a game called Unmetal, and it's this indie video game, and I'm like this ridiculous drill sergeant. And for anyone who loves Metal Gear, it's very funny. It's very ridiculous. You should go play it. It's like made by an indie crew. He was over in like Europe, I think, in Poland somewhere, and just a really stupid game. I play like kind of like the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, but with some like choice zingers in there. So good times. Go check out Unmetal.
That sounds great. Unmetal. Unmetal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got more bunnies.
Another bunny.
Hello. So you kind of answered this question earlier, so I'm gonna like put a different spin on it. One thing I hear often with a lot of people who get up and talk to others, especially to encourage them to do new things, is put yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable. And they always, that's a common advice. And I think about that, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like being comfortable. So I just want to know, like, what do you think about that? And all 5 of you, if anything, like whether it's voice acting or not, like, have you decided, like, you know what, like, this is, like, have you decided to go, like, become uncomfortable and go out of your comfort zone on purpose?
Yes. All the time. I am a very anxious person. I'm very introverted, which is why I don't do a lot of conventions. So getting me to do a con is me leaving my comfort zone. Because I am kind of like that weird, socially awkward. I'm kind of like, I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna be down here. No one do not perceive me. That's how I am all the time. I've been working on that for years. So I think some people can relate to being introverted and not always wanting to leave their comfort zone and knowing it feels really scary to even think about it. And then the more you think about it, the more anxious you get because you're like, oh God, what if this, what if that? But baby steps is all I can say. That's kind of what I do, is just kind of go, okay, psych yourself up, go, okay, I'm gonna do this thing, let's do it. And even if you're like, you don't believe you can do it, just say, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this thing. So that's kind of how I power through stuff that makes me, I won't say uncomfortable, but definitely makes me hesitant and anxious, and very anxious. So that's advice that maybe, hopefully that can help. Is just kind of trick yourself into powering through it, and then when you get there, you kind of go, oh, this is pretty cool. This isn't so bad after all. Because a lot of it is, at least for me, is me building stuff up in my head. Just being like, oh God, what if this, what if that? What if they hate me? But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm here. This is fun. And that's kind of how I deal with stuff like that. Maybe that can help you, hopefully, or someone out there who is very introverted and gets anxious.
Or have someone who's going to push you. Like, I push them into doing events sometimes.
That's true. That's true. If it weren't for Kira and my friend Ryan Bartley. Give it up for Ryan! I would never have done a convention, because when we did Ava, she was Ayanami in the 2019 dub of Evangelion. You can say that again, and please don't. And yeah, so if it weren't for her and Kira being like, no, this is something, you could do this, you got this, this is, you can't pass this up. This is going to be great. You're going to have fun. You're going to meet fans. People are going to love you, and it's going to be a great experience. And I'm like,
and you realize that like work you did means something personal to people, because the work we do, it's like we're very isolated. It's like us and like a couple other people on the other side of the room. So just hearing how people are impacted. When you're in your comfort zone, i.e. home for me, I don't really get to talk with any of you guys. And if I do, it's maybe quickly online in like a quick pass and go message. But doing that convention that I was like helped to do, I got to meet so many people that were like loved the work that we did. I got to see and experience, like you said, I don't know. So that kind of helped me be like, I want to go out there and meet more cool people and chat with them about nerd stuff and video games and anime and whatever. And it's always a good time.
Yeah.
And so that's how I kind of get through doing conventions now, is I just remind myself of the first one that I went to that was really good. And that's kind of, how I get through a lot of things now when I'm anxious. I'm like, I just think of that. Something good can come out of this. You don't have to be scared crapless the whole time. Mm-hmm. So just try to, baby steps, roll with it, and just find a way to leave your comfort zone that works for you. And whatever works, remember it, hold on to how you did it, and remember how it makes you feel. I don't know how much else to add, but that's pretty much what I do. So hopefully that helps any of you guys in the slightest.
I think that's a good thing, just because as a soundbite itself, it can be a little ridiculous, where it's like, get out of your comfort zone. It's like, all right, well, I got this scene where I got to go like beat someone up, and so I don't know what that feels like, so let's go start some fights. And it's like, that's not it. Maybe for some like crazed method, something or other. But yes, it is like the things that you touched upon are like, it's like having that network of people around you that you trust, a personal conversation with yourself. Because the soundbite is a little enchanting of like blast through that wall, and you're like, cool, don't know how I do that. Do I just do it for anything? And it's like, you could end up in a lot of scary and weird situations if you take that at face value. So there's an amount of like conversation within yourself and common sense that's attached to that soundbite too.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this brief because I have a lot of thoughts on this. But so I'm sure if any of you guys happen to follow me on social media or anything like that, you'll know my favorite artist and my biggest creative inspiration is David Bowie. And I watched the Moon Age Daydream movie when that came out. And they had it was structured really cool. It had a lot of clips of interviews with him and things like that. And one thing he said was that he made his best work when he forced himself to get out of his comfort zone. And so I really took that to heart. I wanted to grow as an actor, so and it was kind of, the lesson that I learned from it was that you have to challenge yourself in healthy and positive ways. So in my enthusiasm to apply this advice, worked on a project for someone who did not respect me as a performer and made the process very difficult. And I don't feel like I really learned anything from that situation other than how to have boundaries more, I don't know. So, so that was an example where it's like, okay, this was like a negative example of going out of your comfort zone. Yeah. But when it comes like a positive example is, for many years, I did not think that I could ever stream because I thought, oh, if you want to be a streamer, you have to be funny and entertaining and outgoing, and I'm not really any of those things. But then when my character in Genshin Impact was released, I thought, okay, what if I just tried one stream on Twitch of just pulling for my character in the gacha when she's revealed? And the reception was really good. It was a small, we just did it. We literally just hooked up my PS4, and Casey was the one who showed me how to stream directly from the PS4, and just did my pulls for her. And I was like, okay, that was a better response than expected. I'm gonna try streaming again. And then it morphed into having this little Twitch community. And I was self-conscious because I was like, oh, I'm not like the funny, outgoing streamer personality you think. But people said, I like your streams because they're just chill. But
and now she's a cow tuber.
Yes, but yeah, people just hang out, and I play Genshin with viewers, and they come into my room, and I stream late at night, and it's like, it's a small community, but it's like people just hanging out and having a good time, and some people like that chill vibe, or they like to have it as background noise, so that's something that it's like, okay, that was worth getting out of comfort zone.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're under 15 minutes, so we do have to limit everybody to just one question. Just wanted to bring that up.
And we'll take care
Speed round.
with our speed round.
Also, we did get one Twitter question, so I did want to throw this out. Casey, someone wants to know how you got the role in Bloody Roar 2.
What was the question, sorry?
How did you get the role in Bloody Roar 2?
How did I get the role in Bloody Roar 2?
Yes.
I cast myself.
No, well, there you go.
So Bloody Roar 2 is not an official production. It is something that I put together. TLDR, under a minute, hopefully, looking at the clock. There was an old PlayStation game called Bloody Roar 2. Really old. And when the pandemic started, I thought, hey, I hack games. What are we going to do for a while now that we're doing nothing as actors? I know, I'm going to cast me and my friends to play the voices in this fighting game from a million years ago. So I had them all record it. Kira was in it too. And she was Uriko the cat.
Of course.
And I had to cast her because she was the cat, and if I didn't cast her as the cat, she'd kill me. and just put it on the game, released it, and of course I cast characters that fit. And I couldn't really think of many people who could do Bakuryu, the mole, which is the character I played. I'm like, I need a really high, youthful, energetic, powerful voice. And I heard the Japanese, and I'm like, God, that just sounds like me. So I'm just gonna turn it up to 10 and go. So I just did it myself and did it. But yeah, but I thought opening with I cast myself was pretty funny.
Yes.
But,
Very
but yeah,
powerful
that's the answer to that. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So I'm still kind of getting into voice acting, and I'm trying to better myself both from the technical aspect and the acting portion of it. And when you all started, is there anything you did from the technical side where you made a change and you noticed it drastically affected how your auditions turned out?
Anything that we did in particular? I mean, knowing how to treat your space, I guess. making sure that you're isolating yourself. If you don't have a booth, hang up some winter coats and make things nice and dead. Make sure that you're, with these mics, you can be right up on top of them as dynamic. But when you're recording, probably like about 9 inches or something away from the mic. Split your P's if you're getting plosive. Just kind of get familiar with your equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty much that, yeah.
Sorry, so were you asking from like a technical perspective or anything in general?
Mostly technical, but if anything perspective, that also works.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the biggest thing for me, and this is gonna sound so dumb because now it's like the advice that everyone gives, right? But when I started and had no clue what I was doing, like the biggest breakthrough for me was when I took an acting class at my college, and I was of course telling like my professor that I wanted to be a voice actor and all this kind of stuff, and she's like, and I was like, oh, I can do all these voices, right? And she's like, that's great, and you have a really good range, but I don't believe the things you're saying as this character, and I need to believe you. You need to like speak your truth as this character. And that was like, I know it sounds so basic, but that was like a really powerful revelation for me that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day about how many voices you can do or whatever. Of course, like range is good, but it's about like, can you authentically play this character? Like, can you, are you reading from a script and trying to do a voice, or are you speaking as that character? Does it sound like someone reading a script and doing a voice, or does it sound like that character is speaking to you? That sort of thing. So that was like really important for me.
Yeah.
That's important, yeah. The acting part in voice acting.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. My question is, in your entire career, what has made you the most emotional?
Doing Ava.
I believe it.
Do you have anything?
Yes, I think most people know this already, but
When you booked Jolene.
yeah. So, for background, I have loved JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I first got into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in 2013 when some friends introduced it to me. I ended up loving the anime so much that I read the manga because I wanted to keep seeing what happened. And JoJo's just became like this really important part of my life. I even got a tattoo from it, like all this kind of stuff. Like my big life dream was to work on JoJo, and like my biggest dream role was Jolene Cujo. And then when I found out when the anime was finally happening and they announced who was playing her in Japanese, and I found out, oh, she was like, the seiyuu was a really big fan of Jolene too, and that was her dream role. And I was just like, oh, I want this so bad. But it's dangerous to like get attached to anything because as literally Mark talked about in the beginning of the panel, we audition for stuff all the time, we don't book. But I was like, I have to book this. Like, I was just like, everything in my power, I was like, I need this audition to be like perfect. But I didn't have that much time to do it, so I had to just like go feral, just like try really hard and be like, I've been preparing for 8 years for this role. So when I like found out that I was cast and I got that email, it was like, it didn't even feel real to me. It was like so many different emotions.
It was a scream heard all throughout Burbank, California.
The glass shattered on the windows.
So if anyone was in that, if it was in Burbank at that time and you heard a noise, I know what it was. It was her.
Oh gosh, there's a show that's yet to come out. A lot of emotional things. Rengoku Kazuha definitely had a lot of things that like stabbed me through the heart. There's a show that's yet to come out, but I remember there's just a scene, and there's something that happens and someone gets lost, and it followed right on the heels. I'm a big cat dad, and I had just lost both of my cats back to back. They'd been with me for 17 years. And at that moment, like recording that scene, it was just a lot of like echoes of that kind of coming back up and having to kind of deal with that and like, tentatively like say, okay, this is bubbling up to the surface, so I'm going to use it as well and like try to honor them through that moment. So like little moments like that come up, and that one hit me pretty hard. It was weird because I even got forewarning. The director was like, a lot of us have been very affected by this due to losses that they have had in their own lives. And I was like, I'll be okay. And then when it hit, I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
And we got through it. And it's like, we stopped the recording. They're like, do you need a minute? I'm like, we'll be fine. We'll be good. And those are fun things as well. We get to honor parts of our life and bring parts of our personality to it. So it's special moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a damn fine way to put it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, and I hope you have a great convention.
Thank you. You too.
So I know there's not a lot of time left. I got people behind me, so I'm going to keep something a little short, brief, a little lighter. And just speaking on, you mentioned your role being trapped in a cave. From each of you, what would you do if you were trapped in a 1 meter by 1 meter steel cube?
A 1 meter by 1 meter steel cube. What would just we do personally?
Yeah.
Cease to exist.
What would you do?
Oh God.
It's a little over 3 feet. It's not.
I've always wanted to be in a sensory deprivation tank, so I'd probably meditate for a good like 2 minutes before I went absolutely insane.
Yep.
Yep. Steel cube.
I mean, I'm claustrophobic, so that would be a really bad time.
It's a meter. Oh yeah, I guess that's not good.
Yeah.
A meter is small.
It's enough to like sit down and have a good meditate.
I mean, you're curled up. You're like being crushed by this thing, and you're running out of air pretty quickly. So, what's your first thing that you're doing to improve your situation? Just really quick, just a one-word answer.
Oh gosh, to improve our situation?
Anything.
I'm gonna stick with.
I like your answer.
I don't know. I think the meditation. If it's a meter steel cube and like you're enclosed in complete darkness, I'd enjoy the sensation while it lasts and hope that I run out of air sooner.
That's good.
Meditate, then panic. Fantastic plan.
And that, yeah. Thank you.
Hey there.
Hey.
I had a serious question, but I'm going to just put that away for another time.
Copy that.
And I've got a sillier question.
Let's do
Well,
it.
it might be serious to some people. If you could have, I don't want to say like get married, but if you could have a relationship with one character that you've played, who would it be? Hopefully this hasn't been asked already by
A
Noah.
relationship with a character we've played.
Huh.
Oh, I know. Okay, there's in Elder Scrolls Online, I play a rat named Arox the Mutilator.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he's an Ash Titan trapped in a Daedrat body, and God, I just want to spend some time with that guy because he's nuts.
Can you take this seriously, please?
I'm sorry. Yes. You're right.
There is a character I voiced in Elder Scrolls as well. She's a really badass orc, and she runs the like the orc what do you call it? It's like the little town. I can't remember what it's called. But she's super badass, and I don't know. When I played that part and I saw her, I was kind of like, damn.
All right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Woo. All right. How about you?
I mean, I play a lot of pretty ladies, to be honest, but I gotta say Jolene, plus she's a stand user. How cool is that?
That's great. All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hey,
Hello.
I had a very lengthy question about emotion, but I'm gonna keep it short. Was there ever a time you had to share like a booth when it came to voice acting, and what was that like if you did?
Share a booth?
Like there was a voice actor right next to you, and you had to voice act with them next to you.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, it's great. On home, we would, since it's original prelay animation, we'd get. I love recording personally. I'm sure that these folks do too. But man, recording with other people in the same booth is fantastic. The only thing is like you generally have to leave a little bit of space so you don't step on each other's lines for the engineer.
Yeah.
But other than that, playing off of other people's energy is amazing.
Yeah.
And like getting to hear, you make each other laugh. You do stupid crap that's like.
Sometimes they keep it in.
Yeah. I had on home. There's a character that particularly was like creepy to everyone else, and it was just fun to do because everyone's kind of like ew, but we need to record it. But ew, stop it.
It's pretty rare for me that I've gotten to record with other actors because I do so much localization work, like a lot of things where you have to match timing from original language and things like that. But one cool exception was any River City Girls fans here? Okay, a few hands. So on the very first River City Girls, me and Kaylee Mills, who plays Misako, I play Kyoko, we got to record in the same booth together. And I thought that was really, really cool and made a huge difference in the performance because Kyoko and Misako's dialogue, like a lot of it hinges on comedic timing. And so just getting to play off each other, it was like we were able to have those comebacks and stuff like that. And I think it made a huge difference in the performance.
It was the same when we did Bug Snacks. We had a whole circle of actors. There's probably 12 of us was. Roger Craig Smith was my brother in that one.
Oh, really?
He was Snorpington. So, and hearing him do his actually changed how I did my character.
Yeah.
So if it weren't for that, Floofty would not have sounded more like Floofty. It's a lot different. And I heard Roger, and I'm like, oh, I am voicing his sibling. We're supposed to be twins, kind of. Supposed to be a pain in the butt to each other. So I have to sound like him, but more annoying. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I wish there were more projects like it.
I know, it's fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and
We have 2 minutes left, so this is our final question.
My question is, if you have a friend who's starting out Twitch, what is the best advice you can give them?
Oh wait, sorry. What was that again?
For someone starting out, what advice?
For Twitch?
On Twitch. So for someone starting out on Twitch, what advice would you give them?
Starting out on Twitch, what advice? Just keep doing it. Do it for fun. Do it for funsies. And then when you do stuff on Twitch, whether you're playing a game or just chatting or doing whatever, do it for funsies. Do it because you want to do it. And then eventually a natural crowd of cool people will follow. That's what I do anyway. I just kind of go on there and I play video games. I hang out. I'm a nerd. I'm like, hey, let's play some Tony Hawk games. Let's play something together. Cool. But whatever it is you want to do, just do it. Do it organically. And then people will like come to your channel that are organically pretty cool as well. From the pro.
And don't feel like you need to go, like it can be very overwhelming when you first start streaming because you're like, oh, do I need an overlay? Do I need a capture card? Do I need to like make a VTuber model? Do I need to do all this kind of stuff? And it's okay to do a really, really basic stream when you're trying it out. You don't have to spend all this money on all this fancy stuff yet. Literally, like you can ask this one, my very first stream was just directly streaming from the PS4. So it was just like my game screen and nothing else.
I still do that from time to time.
Yeah.
I'll stream directly from my PS5. I'll still get like 50 or 60 viewers because I'm just hanging out. I'm not looking to get like 1,000, but it's fun. If you just have fun doing it, then you're good.
Yeah, and then I finally got a capture card, so I finally like upgraded to like, okay, I'll do like a basic overlay. Okay, I'll make a cool one on Canva. And then finally I got like the VTuber model because one of my friends who mods for me was able to make one that was like not super complicated. And also just like, I talked about this earlier, but it's okay to be yourself. Like you don't have to put on this like personality that you're not. Like people like chill streamers too, and just like engage with your community. Having a Discord for your stream really helps. Like that's fostered a lot of like, you know, like my stream will co-op with each other in Genshin when I'm away at a con or whatever, and I love seeing that. It's like so wholesome.
But above all, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck, have fun.
Thank you guys
thank you so much for coming out.
Let's hear it from Mark Whitten.
Thank you. And
Kira Buckland.
Hey!
And Casey Mongillo. Woo! Who does not wish to be perceived at this time.
Do not perceive.
Thank you so much for coming out. Y'all have a great day.